Chuckloaf, 1200 Films podcast, all horror, all the time. Oh, the last episode is probably the best over all 8 films that I had ever done for one show, and this episode is, it could be the opposite. This was pretty disappointing. Some were fine. Many, not so much. But, of course, the rating scale on the bottom, dumpster fire, filth, garbage, then can't quite recommend, and then okay if desperate, and then, hi kitty kitty, and then you put it on the watch list, and then put it on top of the watch list. Nothing on this episode is going on top of the watch list. So put your pen away. If you remember these few later when you come across them, then you can watch them. But as far as anything you need to see right now, no. Let's start 1989, Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge, 5.2. Kitty, why are you biting my feet? Bad kitty, you're so naughty. I think Kitty's hungry. Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge, has got a 5.2 on IMDb. This is pure 80s fluff. That's what you'd expect. Big poofy hair, tight jeans. It's got a few 80s celebrities you might recognize if you were around in that era, which I was. And a few of the kills are pretty cool, but it's fluff. But it's a good time killer. Okay if desperate. Next, I go through these quick. I don't waste time. 2019 Disappearance at Clifton Hill. It's got a 5.4 out of 10, currently on Netflix. This girl, when she was about 10, she saw a little boy being abducted in this national park. And 20-some years later, she decides, now I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to follow up on this and figure out what happened. Like, well, okay, good luck. It's one of those dark mysteries. But I will say I did enjoy the ending. It kind of went in a few directions, and then the ending is like, it's a nice ending. Didn't expect that. Caught me off guard. So points there. You know what? Put it on the watch list. It was good enough for that. Next. 2021, 13 Minutes. It's got a 4.6. This isn't really horror. It's a tornado movie. It's less horror than Twister. It's less horror than that Bruce Campbell TV tornado movie called Tornado. It's this little mud-lick town in the middle of nowhere. Tiny little town. I mean, it co-stars Trace Atkins. Trace Atkins. So you know what kind of you're getting into. Also had Amy Smart and Anne Heche. Rest in peace. Died just a couple months ago, shockingly, in a car wreck. Now, of course, her family's battling for her estate. I thought she was okay in 6 Days and 7 Nights. I thought she was okay in The Vanished, a recent horror film. Then I thought she was pretty good in that Psycho remake they put out about 15, 20 years ago. Yet, respectable actress. Jodie Foster, she is not, but she's good. So in this movie, the first hour, you're getting to know this little town. They've got all kinds of different problems, as you can expect in a movie made in 2021. I'll leave that at that. And then the tornado hits and it kills a couple of them. And then the rest are scrambling around trying to save each other's lives. And it's a drama with a little bit of action at the end. I guess if you're into that, it's an okay time killer, so it's okay if desperate, but it's not horror. 2020 Sacrifice, 4.6 on IMDb. If we learn anything from Midsommar, remember that movie a couple years ago? When your friend or spouse or significant other or whoever the F invites you to their motherland for a ceremony or a wedding or even to live there, you say no. Every time you say no. Hey, you want to come visit me in my old motherland of Pango Pango? No. good. But it's another horror subgenre of don't go messing where you don't know nothing. So this husband invites his wife back to his motherland, where's, I don't remember, some Polish town, sea town. And with a title like Sacrificed, you know, something's going to get sacrificed. And it's probably not the town goat or the house cat. It's going to be something else. So that's all you need to know. But being a little predictable, it was fine. Okay, if desperate. 2021 Fanboy 13 has got a 4.0. Oh my god, this movie. After the success of the reboot, I guess the rebooted sequels of Halloween and bringing back all the old people, Friday the 13th decided to do that too with this film, kind of under the radar. And they failed miserably. For one, nobody remembers Counselor Bob from Part 3, or Sister Karen from Part 6, or Jimmy from Part 8. Nobody does, and that's who all they brought back for this movie. And they put that on the screen, and in the little parentheses, this is so-and-so from this movie. Like, oh, that's nice. Unless you just watched all of them in a row, which is hard to do because most of them are bad. It's kind of a waste of time. And all they do is get killed again, and you gotta figure out, okay, who's doing the killings. It's one of those movies. Completely skippable, dumpster fire garbage. Next. 2018 Incident in Ghostland. Last I knew it was on Netflix. 6.4. It was... How do I describe this movie? So this girl who grew up in this little house in the middle of nowhere gets assaulted. And then you fast forward 20 years and the assaults, I guess, from these people start happening again. And she relives it and got to go through it again. But you don't know if what's really happening or if she's just crazy. It's bizarre. It's weird. It's an okay time killer again. Put it on in the background. Incident in Ghostland. Okay if desperate. Next, 2022. They, Them. 3.6 on IMDb. Starring Kevin Bacon. I expected better from you, Kevin Bacon. So this is such a 2022 film. So this is a getaway camp for gay teen and transgender youth, and it's like a Christian camp that's gonna try to switch them to being straight. Yes, those still exist, and Kevin Bacon's running it with his, and he tries to come across as, you know, you are who you are, and if you come away in this and you're still who you are before, that's fine. But then he has these really evil counselors that are like bastards, except for one of them. There's one that kind of knows what's going on. It isn't so rough. The problem with this film, there's a section, probably an hour and 10 minutes of this hour and 30-minute movie where there's one kill. One. The rest is all character development. So again, it's more of a drama with a sprinkling of horror. And it didn't work out so well in this film. The couple of handfuls of twists at the end, they were okay, fine. Yeah. But it was mostly a miss. Can't quite recommend this one. They tried to pull you in with this when they put the last Halloween on streaming. Like, you can watch this on streaming, and you can watch the new Kevin Bacon if you just get Peacock for another month. Like, ooh, 2 horror movies, woo! Well, and yeah, so now time for the feature review of Watcher.
I need to know for myself that he's been following me.
Sometimes I just look at people. Just tell me what you want me to do.
I want you to believe me.
I was sure that you'd see me.
I heard screaming from in here, okay? Just open the door, please.
Dreaming of a pretty girl looking back at me. But no one has really noticed before.
Alright, 2022 Watcher. Not Watch Her. Watcher. Anyway. 6.3 in IMDb, and Rotten Tomatoes, which I don't usually bring up, did give this an 87% critic rating and an 67% audience score, so there is a following for this film. It is a pure Rear Window type film. Is it as good as Rear Window? Probably not. Is it as good as the remake with Christopher Reeves? Probably. So, again, as we discussed earlier, when your whomever invites you to their motherland, yes, I know. So this guy invites his wife back to his motherland in Bucharest. She says yes. So they're living in Bucharest, and she's all by herself at the apartment, all by herself all day, waiting for him to come home. And of course she looks out the window and there's a guy staring at her and she loses her mind. So what does she do? She waves at him to see if he's actually watching her, and then he waves back. And then it goes from there. It did have some good suspense though. The guy in the window was played by, what's his name? Bum Gorman? That's his name. Or Byrne. Excuse me, not Bum. Byrne. Byrne Gorman, who was also in Crimson Peak, and he was in Game of Thrones. How about that? Good for him. But yeah, he was pretty good in this. The chick was fine. The guy was an afterthought. The husband. But yeah, nice little film. Is it great? No. But I'd put it on the watch list. This will probably be in line for an honorable mention at the end of the year. Probably not top 10, but we'll see. So far, the top 10's looking pretty weak, so it might squeak in. But yeah, respectable effort here, Watcher. So that's it. That's all. On the next episode, we're going old school. Besides Nosferatu and the Creature from the Black Lagoon, I've never really watched any of the old monster movies. Dracula, Frankenstein, Mummy, never watched any of them. So that's what I'm going to do. And we're going to see, do these movies hold up? Are they scary? Or are they garbage? Do they need to be forgotten? Hopefully not. But we will discover this together forever on the next episode. So until then, au revoir.
Funny.